Hello everyone, we are currently in Elsie's car about to go see Moana 2.
Moana!
Where we have heard some negative things. We've only heard, I did not look at any spoilers, no spoilers, even though the villain song was apparently leaked, and I did my best not to do that because I cannot wait for it. I hope it's a lot better than the other guy from Wish.
It'll be good.
Yes, it will be so good. It will be so good. And so we will be giving you guys just like a little bit of a recap, but then we'll be doing a full deep dive. And to be honest, we are just both film buffs. We just know different things about films and stuff like that. So much more of character. I can definitely do, and she'll do more of music for sure. Alrighty, then we'll let you guys know how it goes. They're making Moana an Avenger, okay? Let's be real here. That was a very interesting movie.
It was interesting.
But they are making the Moana series.
It could have been so much better.
Yes. But no, this is the setup. This is the little plan. So Moana 1 brought us all the way up here. Moana 2 sort of brought us like midway. I still think it was a good movie. Better by newer Disney standards. But we are going to go up here with the third one to an actual, like, destiny fight where it's going to be the fate of everything. Now, I'm not just saying the ocean, her island, I'm saying this is the fate of everything. Because that end credit of Moana 2 changed how I saw Moana 2.
For the better, or?
For the better.
For the better.
Now then, we'll see you guys back in whatever studio we have decided to do the full-on review, but it is worth it. Spoilers ahead. Hello everyone, welcome back to Hobby Ever After.
I'm Elsie.
I'm Eric, and we are doing our first movie review.
Of Moana 2.
Which, sadly, did not rise above the waves, but sadly sunk beneath it.
I don't know about that. It could have been better, yes, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
The only thing that saved it was the little bit of air bubble that managed to save even the characters. Oh boy. It was certainly something, everyone.
So if you don't want to watch a whole long review, here's the TLDR. It was good. It could have been better. It's mainly just a setup for Moana 3.
Yep.
The music was fine. It was very similar to the first one. In fact, I think there were 3 songs that were repeated from the first one. And for all of you Maui fans, Maui's song is fine, but gimmicky.
I think, personally, with Maui's song, it's better than the one before. I feel like this one I could actually listen to again.
You liked this better than You're Welcome?
Yes. I did.
No, absolutely not.
Except for the one lyric that you don't like either. I feel as though I think it was better. But yeah, mainly agreeing to the same points as Elsie. It was a decent film. I gave it a solid 7.5. What did you give it?
I also gave it a 7.5.
Yeah, like it's something that you can have on, but it's not like something like, oh my gosh, we're going to sit down, we're going to watch this, the songs are going to be stuck in our head, we're going to be feeling the emotions from this. It certainly is something else. It's definitely a very new way for a setup movie, and now I understand why it was most likely going to be a Disney Plus series. Yeah, like it was fine. Set up for number 3. Personally, I would have wanted it to. It's not as much creative as I would say the first film, with how it laid everything out, the designs, the beautiful like lore of it and stuff like that. Not as well thought out. So hopefully number 3 will do that for us.
Yeah, I followed like a lot of the same story beats and everything as the first one. But yes, I'm gonna also put up or at least my rating scale here of 10 to 1. So yeah, for me it fell in between 7 and 8, which my 7 is good and 8 is very good. So it wasn't quite very good, but it was a little better than good.
It was still better than Wish. Okay, people? That movie is nothing. It was a pure disappointment. It was.
I didn't hate it. I need to watch it again to make a full opinion
They
on it,
took
but
away the Star Prince, the evil cat, the evil queen. They could have made it so much better, but they didn't. And it was planned on being 2D, but no, that was too expensive. For a multi-billionaire company? Huh?
huh?
Okay, before I work myself into a rage, is there anything else you would like to say before we get into our full, with spoiler review of Moana 2?
So the way that we're going to be structuring our reviews is that we're going to give an initial score out of 10 for like the overarching movie, like our overall enjoyment, whatever, just what do we think? And then we have five different categories that we're going to rate on from 1 to 10. So there is a potential total of 50 or 60, depending on how you want to look at it. So we have the animation or the cinematography if it's not animated,
We have the
acting.
acting. Mhm. We have the creativity of it because that's a huge aspect of movies nowadays. It can't just be like a ripoff or a replicate.
We have emotion
Hmm.
because if a movie does not make me feel something, I don't want it. I don't want nothing to do with it.
I feel like Moana 2 did have some emotion, but not enough to where it could be like it could surpass the first.
Yeah. And then plot.
Hmm.
So, should we start with animation?
Yes. We both gave this an 8. I feel as though if they had done something differently, in which we'll get into that, but it was still well animated. The water physics were amazing. The beauty of the characters, I would say that even um my one little critique, the grandma looked older.
Really?
Yeah, she had more wrinkles. Like as we got closer to her face, it had more wrinkles and she looked much older, which that would suck if you died. You just
And
looked
then you just
older.
keep aging.
Yeah, you just looked older. Otherwise, still looked very well. The spirit people, they still looked really great. The animation of Matangi, the Bat God, who isn't the antagonist. She's really not. She's being held captive by the antagonist in um, a living clam ship eating thing that protects the island where Moana and her crew want to get to reconnect the seas because this whole movie is about going to this island to help reconnect everyone to the seas because this thunder god named sorry we wrote everything down what was his name again? Nalo, the thunder god, wanted to keep the mortals separate, which gained him power somehow. But she was sort of kept there because of a debt that she owed, which in within that clamshell is the portal to the gods, like how they travel. Which, if you kept in a living clamshell, that's a bit weird, right?
hmm
Like, wouldn't that be the entrance to the monster world? But okay, we're getting a little. But yes, Matangi's character animation, along with her bats. Let's also look at that. A villain with like an animal companion. How long has that been?
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, think about that, people. It it's been a hot minute since we well mainly in everything else like Disney has been doing. You've been the inner villain all along, which yeah, we're all the villains to each other, but a villain with like an animal signature thing. Whereas like if we look back in the past, Jafar had Diago, Maleficent had Diablo, even the evil queen just had the regular crow, and it's like well, they just stopped. Well, we finally have Matangi, who is the goddess of the bats, and her animation is very well done. I felt as though it's very fluid, very smooth. My one critique is with Nalo, the thunder god. When we reach the about the climax of the film, where they are finally to the island, it's actually underwater because Nalo sunk it, and they're fighting against the curse. There's no like face of Nalo or something like that. It's just thunder and tornadoes, and it was really underwhelming. Unlike
hmm
like Taka with the first film, where you actually felt even like you were scared for the characters. Like it was really lackluster, and like they couldn't have made it even to where his face sort of appeared and from his mouth erupted lightning and stuff like that. Where his hands like were each a little tornado itself moving around. He didn't have
Mm.
like any sort of control over, like, they did move because they avoided Maui to get to the humans because Nalo hates mortals, but overall, I felt like that was the point of the film where I'm like, okay, that you just didn't do it. What about you?
Yeah, I agree about Nalo. I mean, they did show his face, but I think it was in like the foreshadowing when they were talking about like how he sunk the island. That
Mhm.
was when his face was like in the
There
lightning.
was pictures of him, like drawings, and then um flashback with like her ancestor, like the previous Wayfinder and stuff like that. He was in the clouds, yet he couldn't make an appearance for Moana. He's like, you're not worth my time. I'm just gonna sit up here in my clouds. Do do
Maybe that
do.
was the point though. Maybe he didn't think that she was gonna be anything
Mm-hmm.
like as powerful as she was, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's yeah,
So yeah, maybe he wasn't bothered.
yeah.
But because yeah, it did seem that he was more. Well, I don't know. That's kind of conflicting though because Moana said that he didn't that Nalo didn't care about Maui. He just cared about humans because the
Mm-hmm.
humans were the ones that could break the curse.
Yep.
But then during like the whole fight, he was only focused on Maui.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of
Yeah, that was
weird.
as soon as because he was looking at the same straight point, like, oh, Maui raises the island, then they get it. So it was at that point that he decided to deal with Maui as Maui because we all something that I sort of even forgot about, but was nice. It was sort of like nicely reminded us that Maui can pull up islands. Like that's pretty cool, and by doing that, then Moana could land on it. But as we'll discuss later on, they did bring back the island. Spoilers, but yeah, Moana did it a different way by from like Matangi's song, which
Mm.
we'll talk about.
Yes. Yeah. Otherwise, animation. Yeah, it was good. I agree. I liked Matangi. Just the way that her like at first her animation was off-putting to me, like the way like her really wide eyes and like her really odd movements.
Hmm.
But as I thought about it, I was like, oh, but that is how bats are, and I
Yeah.
was that fits, and I liked
Hmm.
that they took that chance with that.
What I like is to think about is like she's this like person that has been stuck there for 1,000 years, and she's been so antisocial, and she has not been able to leave. That when
I am
meeting
now a
her first
bat.
contact, that's all she knows is because she's been around the bats for too long.
Yeah, I didn't even
Hmm.
think about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yes, very awkward and antisocial. Yeah, and then the whole time, like at the beginning, I was like looking at the ocean and whatever, like when it's in its like snake form or whatever. I was like, did they change this animation? This looks different.
Hmm.
But I don't think it was different. I think it's just I'm sure they've updated their ocean engine creator or
Yeah.
whatever since then, so that's probably why it looks a little bit different. But
Hmm.
yeah, overall, I liked Moana's new outfit. Also, that was very cute.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing else
Yeah.
more to really say about animation. 8 out of 10.
So now acting, which you gave a 6.5 out of. Why is that?
Yes. So I gave it 6.5, which is between it wasn't that bad and good. Because everyone was fine. I liked Matangi and her physicality. Like I said before, I thought that that was a good character match. Dwayne Johnson as Maui was fine. I didn't like him as much in this one as the first one. The girl that played Moana was good. I was gonna look up her name and then I didn't. So here's her actress is an outdated term. Her actor's name. And yes, I liked the supporting cast also.
Hmm.
The people on the boat,
Uh,
their acting was pretty good.
yep. Who is Loto is the shipbuilder, and who you and me we personally really liked because um she's not, from what we could tell, she's not neurotypical. She's neurodivergent, and she says perfection is a myth and is always trying to improve the boat. I felt her actor was really good. We have Kayleigh, who is the old farmer, who also did a really good job. Very nice, very well done. And then we got Moni, who was good. I think he was good. It just sort of they rushed over character development.
Yeah, they definitely
Mhm.
did.
Yeah, and then yeah, Matangi was really good. I liked her. And then Samaya, who is Moana's sister,
Right, yeah.
did very well. And then Chief Tui and his wife, who His wife is played by a very popular like actress and then a old singer or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it
She only had a couple lines.
yeah, she only has a couple lines, which is weird, which you know, put up her face and you'll know her because she was like she has done judging on X Factor, America's Got Talent, and she's done some other roles and stuff like that too.
Hmm. Interesting.
Hmm.
I'm sure I'll know who it is once I look it up.
Yeah, sorry everyone. This is our first one, so
We
we're
wrote
just
down some notes, but not all of
yeah.
them.
And Dwayne Johnson, like I think he did a fine job until like the end scene of where big spoilers, Moana dies, Maui loses his tattoos, and he's like very sad about it. But even at that point, I didn't feel like it was like, like, oh, I really love this girl, like a lover. Like it's still like you're my best friend. Like that's something really glad that I'm glad that they did. But it's he sort of sounded a bit more sad, but I also think at this point the Rock is everywhere. He's not hiding under a rock. Yes. Anything else?
I don't think so. Yes. So our next category is creativity, which you gave it. What did you give it?
Creativity. I gave it a 6, and you gave it a 5.5.
Yes.
Okay, everyone. So, as you probably know, we play D&D, and I'm the DM. I'm a very creative person. I like to write. I like to paint. I like to be as creative as possible, and I don't really criticize other people's creativity. And no, I don't, because you create how you want to create it. And I'm also autistic, so the reason why you'll probably see me speaking so much on certain topics is because it's just one of my things. It's like when I'm very earnest and will say everything I need to about the creativity in this film needed so much. Oh my god, it needed so much. But Tongi was probably the most creative thing. I like the Kakamoras, how they had their own like little lore now. That was very good. And then like a father-daughter relationship that was very cute, very well done. I applaud you for that, Disney. But oh my god, could we at least like improve the creativity of even the writing too? Like make it just a bit more seamed and not just like it felt like there was too many little jokes. And also there was like too many like comedic side characters. So before in the first film, we had Hey Hey and the ocean and then the Kakamoras. Like the golden rule is you have two, but three, that's also pretty good. But this time around, we had all three of the side characters. We had the ocean, we had Hey Hey, we had so that's five. We had Bao. What's the pig's name?
Pua.
Pua, the pig's name. And then we also had the Kakamoras. And then, oh my god, I feel like we're missing someone, but I don't know at this point. Um, the Kakamora was sort of funny, but yeah, it was just a lot. And then it felt very clunky how we went from one scene to another and learned about something. Like it didn't feel like, oh, will we learn about that? It's like, oh, I guess we won't learn about that. Like, come on, you have to give us something more. Of course, it's making us question, want to go see the next film, but really, we need to learn more about it. We need to have more of that lore here now, so that way then we can make much more educated guesses and stuff like that. So that's why I gave it a 6. It's still fine. It was still good. I feel as though they could have also put in like a lot more of different sea creatures or any sort of mystical creature. The great ancestor of the Wayfinder, he was a whale shark, which I found really nice. And then some of the other ancestors were like little fishies, but it's like just something maybe a bit more. And then also, to the end of the film, we got to see other people coming from different lands. One of them had a large squid on their sail, meaning that possible kraken in the future. Hmm? Are we gonna get kraken? Yeah, don't worry, you'll be getting a lot of those people. It's how I'm laying this all out. Okay, stop talking. You are.
Yes, I even gave it a lower score for creativity, 5.5, because yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, I do. Like I said, it hit a lot of the same story beats as the first Moana, and like it even used three of the same songs, and like And yeah, obviously they didn't have Lin Manuel, so like they tried to emulate him with what's the boat girl's name? Lotto or something.
Yeah, Lalo,
Lotto.
Loto, Lato.
Yeah, because she did like a rap, so they were obviously trying to emulate Lin Manuel with that. Which was good. I did like it. Yeah, it was. They did do more Polynesian music this time as well, which was good. But yeah, I don't know. And just the Moana's songs, like Beyond, was just still very similar to How Far I'll Go, and
Hmm.
like it was all just very similar. I did
Yeah.
like that Matangi song was a different genre, that it was a
Hmm.
little more pop, but I wasn't sure if it was quite the right fit. I did go back and re-listen to the soundtrack again, and I did like it the second time around a little bit more. But yes, so I did like that they kept with that the villain or
Hmm.
whatnot had a different genre than the rest of the characters. But
Would you say it
yeah,
would go on your top five villain song?
top five villain song,
No?
no.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel like it reaches maybe the sixth or seventh for me, but or maybe a little bit lower, but yeah, it's good. I liked it. It was good. I liked it. I felt as though like the little musical like hey like I it could do without that. And it was fun, lighthearted, made it was relevant again later in the film, so that counts.
Yeah, and just like yeah, Maui, they were not creative with him at all. Like
No.
he was just kind of the same. Like I don't know, his egos was just too big, and like it just felt like he lost some of the like character progression from the first one, and just like
Well, that's
I
because
don't
he
know.
sort of did make the character progression. Like he, like yeah, Maui. It will always be like he's going to be that egotistical person, but it was better this time around. I gotta say, it was. And he did seem to have a much more care for Moana this time around and stuff like that, and was even trying to go out of his way to make sure that she didn't come close or near him at all as she was trying to do this. Because apparently he's got a thing, both Maui, both with Nalo the Thunder God and Matangi the Bat God. Like he's got Matangi probably some sort of former relationship. I would say that Matangi has like the personality of a gambler, of a addicted gambler, always taking that chance, always going for it. And Maui, even though he would probably go along with that, he also still has some sense and responsibility, so he couldn't go all the way there. And then with Nalo, I think maybe it was like something with like maybe they were once considered brothers, so that way that would like Nalo would be sort of the Moana in this situation, and Samea would be the Maui. Like so, Nalo was the older brother, and then Maui sort of turned his back on him or something like that.
Mm, interesting.
Or maybe Nalo's just a big jerk and hates demigods.
Who knows? Yeah,
Hmm.
we were left with a lot of questions in this one,
Yeah,
which also didn't help the creativity score. I mean, I don't
no.
know. We'll see. Yeah, it's really hard to give an impression without having Moana 3
Hmm.
out because yeah, I don't know. We kind of compared it to like Thor the Dark World, like how it's not a very good movie on its own, but like it's important for the overall like story.
Yep.
So yeah, we're hoping and assuming that Moana 3 is going to be really good because of all of this
And
setup. And if it's not, then
also, the end
mm,
scene sort of did remind me of the end scene for the end credits, sorry, of Ultron, where it was like Thanos, I'll do it myself, and grabbing, and then Nala was like, well, then I'll start myself. Also, we do get an appearance of Tamatoa at the end, and it's like, oh, here's the Bat God, here's the Thunder God, and then here's Tamatoa, all going to like come together. And I think that Tamatoa was sort of in charge of Maui's fishhook because Nalo might have taken it after the fight of Maui and Taka. But anything else you want to add?
yeah. And so something else that tanked the creativity score for me was that they really took the easy way out
Mm-hmm.
for this movie. And like we've had this same ending like so many times of like yeah, the hero comes back, they're saved by mystical forces, whatever, because they're a good person, la di da. But which I do think it's cool that like Moana is going to be like a demigod now, whatever. But I feel like they could have done something really cool that would have also really helped the emotion, which spoiler, I have a really low emotion score also.
Mm-hmm.
my idea for a more creative ending is that
Should we explain the actual ending
yeah,
first?
let's do that first. So the way that it goes is that during the fight with Nalo, Maui is like a distraction. He's trying to pull up the island, and Nalo hits him with a lightning bolt, and it takes away his tattoos and supposedly his demigod powers.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like mortal, basically.
Yes.
And Moana swims down to the island to touch it, to land on it in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
and she does so, but is also hit by lightning at the same moment, so she is dead. And Maui is sad about it, but then the ancestors come back and sing a song and bring her back with the magic of the ocean or something. I don't know where the magic comes from.
I feel like it's a mixture of the three. So this happened all underwater because the ocean up to this point could not. We also don't know the full on like power scale of like demigod, god, and the ocean itself. I think it's sort of like on the same plane as like demigod or might be higher, but not like god level because, or maybe Nalo is just more powerful because the same personality of water could not be reached in the cursed area. So once she touches the island, it becomes free. The ocean creates like a water bubble, which might be one power source. Maui singing some sort of song, which we don't really know since it was Polynesian, so we are unaware. It could be like a chant of something like that, and maybe he still has some power? Question mark. And then of her ancestors and stuff like that, because her grandma shows up, the her ancestor shows up, and then a bunch of other people. So you've got like a lot going on there.
Yeah, and who knows? There could also be just other gods watching
Mm-hmm.
and channeling their because that's what was one of my questions was are the ancestors deities then, or are they a conduit for deity power,
Mm-hmm.
or like what is that whole situation? But
They also did create the symbol of the heart of Tafiti as well.
oh, I didn't even think of that.
So it could also be like that symbol being used for life, and Tafiti probably, owing Moana a lot for bringing her back, was like, you got a second chance, kid.
Yep. So yes, Moana comes back. She has her new tattoo. She's now a demigod. Maui gets his hook back from. Did the ocean give him his hook back?
Yeah, it just sort of floated back, and Maui then gets back his tattoos, which I felt so wrong because
hmm
he should have made a new story for himself.
Yeah. So yeah, that was part of my idea too. Was that it would have been so good if Moana actually dies, which I understand that this is a children's movie and we don't want to traumatize the children. But if that were not the case, then to have Moana be a martyr would be so good because like we haven't had a Disney movie follow that plot before. Like we've had characters die,
Mm-hmm.
like mm, actually, has there been like an actual death where they didn't come back? Like a main character, like a side main character.
I mean, Mufasa, but that was the Disney parent death.
Yeah. Yeah, the parents don't super count.
No.
Yeah, I don't think we've had one. And if there is, I'm sure we'll get yelled at the comments.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, I think that would be really cool to have her be like a martyr. And then so we've already have this mechanic set up where the people of this culture come back as ancestors, as ghosts, and so she could come back as a ghost. And I think it would be really great if Maui stayed a human. He goes back to Motunui and delivers the news of Moana's death to the people. And then Moana 3 could be all about the sister
Mm-hmm.
and Maui growing up, grieving. But of course, Moana would come back and visit and whatnot because she's a ghost. Would a ghost princess not be the best thing ever? Come on,
Mm-hmm.
that would be so good.
Also,
Um,
let us know down in the comments what would be her animal.
yeah, Moana's spirit like
Yeah.
animal because yeah, her grandma is the
Mm-hmm.
manta ray, and then the
Ancestors, the whale shark, and then some of the other ancestors get like regular fish and whatnot. Which let me tell you, that would suck. Let me tell you, I would be so pissed if I was like, look at me, I'm a little fishy, and then I just see this big whale shark and this manta ray come back. Like, what the heck? So yeah, tell us what you guys think down in the comments.
Yeah, because I have no idea what animal she would be.
Hmm.
But yes, I do think it would be really cool to have a movie about a sister growing up grieving, because obviously we have a lot of parent grieving and whatnot in the movies. But yes, it would be a very different dynamic because of the ghost. And then, yes, I think it would also really help Maui's character development if he was now human and, like Eric said, having to rewrite a new story for himself.
Hmm.
And yeah, coming to like probably losing a lot of that ego because he doesn't have the power anymore, blah, blah, blah. He's not the biggest thing
Yeah,
around
I
anymore.
feel like he would be a shut-in, and he would live on top of the mountain or something like that.
Hmm.
And where seeing Samaya hurts him as well because she looks so much like Moana.
Yeah, true, true. But anyways, so yes, we don't know what's gonna happen with the next movie. I mean, we do. Everybody of the ocean is gonna come together, and they're gonna fight Nalo, I guess.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Nalo's going to like try and Percy Jackson Chronos this thing where it's like let's release everything from like the world of demons, not world of demons,
mm,
the monsters and stuff like that with Tamatoa leading them, and then it's going to be like Moana's the Percy Jackson with like now leading like all the demigods and half bloods and stuff like that against it. So yeah, yeah, we're like I said, she's the Avenger, and now she's a half blood. Alrighty then. So on to emotion. Oh boy, I only got emotional one point in this movie, and that was like when um Maui got struck with lightning, lost his tattoo. So it's like, whoa. Then Moana touches the island, gets struck. Whoa. And then suddenly it's like, oh, it's all okay. I'm like, no. Like, yeah, what did I gave this, put it down as a five, I'm gonna give it a four. Like that, it's not worth it. It's not worth a five. And emotionally, like also the sister bond felt pretty real. That was really nice. I liked the Chief Tui. I liked how far he has come and stuff like that. The one thing that I really felt as they could have done is like Kaylee, the old farmer who um he also doesn't know how to swim and he hates the ocean and he wants to stay on land forever. Since he's so much older, we should have seen like some flashback like Emma because apparently she even says in like we know who we are now, like her people they've all just accepted sailing, like yeah, this is who we are now. You wouldn't think that there's like a small part of the community, especially the older generation, who are stuck with this. Like, we don't go past the reef. Like, the ocean is bad. And looking at all the deaths and stuff like that, maybe some sort of flashback and some sort of danger, like, talk about that. Also, Moni, the scholar, when they came through the portal of the gods from Matangi, they suddenly got attacked by like this nocturnal eel sort of thing, which could have looked a lot better personally if I was designing creature, but he fell off the boat and nearly did die. And then they landed up on some beach where they found the old ancestors' boat, and everyone sort of felt discouraged. And then one musical number later, after Maui's musical number, right?
hmm
Yep. He's like, I'm good to go. Dude, you were just rocking back and forth on the beach. Talk it out. You just can't move on from a near death experience like that. Jeez. Yeah, it good stuff on family dynamic and stuff like that. That's very well done. Um Definitely felt a lot more like a family than Wish. But yeah, I know that you also put this at a low score as well.
Yeah, I also had a 4 for emotion, and yeah, all of those same points for me. Like, I really only felt something for the little sister. She was really good. When Maui lost his powers, and I was really hoping that they were gonna stay gone,
Mm-hmm.
and then they didn't, and I was really mad. And then, yeah, when that scholar guy had an existential crisis after falling off of the boat, but they just brushed it under the rug.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that. We're
Mm-mm.
gonna like if opportunity for character development. Like literally those side characters, like
Mm.
there was so much potential there, and they
Op-
just really did not do much
yeah.
with them at all. Especially the farmer. Like the only reason that he was there, his only character arc was that he didn't know how to swim. He learned how to swim. He saved Maui.
Mm,
Like that was it. There was so much more, like you said, that they
mhm.
could have done with that
Yeah.
character.
I felt as though each one of the characters could have had their own thing. Um, like what was his name? Sorry, Moni talking about death, and that would have been good. That would be a really good lesson to teach. Like this is something serious that can happen. Like he thought it couldn't happen, but it can happen. Death is very possible on these journeys and adventures and stuff like that. Kaylee, the old farmer, dealing with that past stuff, dealing with that past fear, that stigma, and then Lato. It could have been like maybe there was something more driving her. Like she thought something was perfect, but it actually didn't turn
Mm.
out to be perfect, and it sort of like scarred her now. And
Hmm.
that's why, because all over the film, she's trying to improve the boat, make it better. Like even as they're sailing, oh, watch out, here comes the sail, and then just nearly kill someone. Like, yeah, she very neurodivergent person, obsessed with boats, obsessed with trying to improve everything, which they could have really made something because like people who do that, they have something sort of bad happen. Like it's always not out of a good place, and that could have really opened up, I think, a lot of young viewers' eyes since the theater we went to was packed. It was very full. It was very full, and I sort of felt bad because I'm like, we're not getting a lot out of this to make it worth this, like worth that crowd.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, like Moana, the original one was like the most streamed movie on Disney Plus for like a year or two.
Oh
Like
yeah.
people love it, and like they were really excited. And yeah, it just kind of fell flat because it's a setup. Yeah, no, I'm literally like one of the most emotional people you will ever meet. So if a movie doesn't make me like cry or feel anything, then
She
you
even grabbed
know it
extra
wasn't
napkins, people.
good. I did. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna cry, and
Yeah.
then not a single tear was
Yeah.
shed.
No. No. It was like, oh man, because I think I would have even cried a little bit if when Maui like came up to the surface with Moana's body and they brought her back. That would have broken my heart.
Mhm.
That and that's the I really like your ending, but I'm like that would have really hurt.
Mhm.
Like you can like it could have been a bad film, but if it went up to that point, I would have been like, oh my goodness, they went this far. Because it did hurt. Like, let's look at Inside Out 2, which is Disney Pixar, of course, but that made us cry.
Oh
That
yeah.
was that was whew, that was heartbreaking. Yeah, but anything else on emotion?
No, just do better next time, Disney.
What did you think of the plot overall?
I gave it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, we've kind of talked about it a bit
Mm-hmm.
already. Just like, yeah, it wasn't super creative. It was pretty similar to the first one,
Yeah.
and but yeah, overall, like it was good. Like, yeah, because really, what is there to plot? There's just like the yeah, there's setup. There was like the callbacks to the first one
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and then there's like the rising action of
Yeah.
the Kakamuras were another callback, and the whole thing with the clam and
Mm-hmm.
Matangi was good and cool and everything. And then yeah, the falling action, well, the climax with the which yeah, I think that might be the biggest gripe. Just how I mean, I don't know. I was glad that they didn't do the exact same thing as
Mm-hmm.
the first Moana, where they go to the boss fight and then leave for a while and then come back.
Yeah.
Like they did still have a pause in the middle of the fight,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't leave and come back.
It was like
So,
pause, reanalyze, and then it went
mhm.
back to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton of thoughts on plot. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was fine.
I put it down as a 5, and it really was that it was very lackluster in what could be like trying to figure out what's really all going on here, like because there's definitely a lot going on here, like just what's happening then, and but then also what has happened in the past to really lead all of this to happen. What's the plan of events? How everything like that really sort of lackluster, and just like how everything was. And also a really big gripe of the film was how they did it like in the beginning. So it just immediately started with just Moana 2, and then it showed us like a little hermit crab getting a new little shell, and then Moana with Pua, and they went to an island. Hey Hey found the little thing that led to the next island. Why not just sort of like do a little explanation or like a little callback, like a little past image of where we see like um Matangi um talking with like Nalo, and then like Maui's there, and then there's like another god who's like probably like a king god at this point, and they're all really mad. And then Nalo looks down to the sea and he sees the island, and like he just gets really frustrated. And then he lays down the curse, and then it showed Moana too, and then we go to that, and then we see Moana running across because this whole film she's trying to look for more people, and they do, but the whole setup of it felt very clunky, like I probably said before. It didn't fully feel as smooth. It felt really dry. Probably when I rewatch this, I'll be a lot better about it, but for now, it's a 5. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and also like everybody was like, "Bring back Pua! We need more Pua!" And so like, yeah, he was there, but was he really there? He didn't do anything.
No, he was just the judgmental pig, like looking at Hey Hey, like, haha, you did something stupid. And then Hey Hey's the genius. Because I get it, they used Pua for the teasers of like Moana way back when, and then it turned out to be Hey Hey, but it's just better with Hey Hey. Also, Pua, he's not like a cute pig. He's like turning into an actual Hawaiian boar. Okay, those things aren't cute. Those things kill people. That and coconuts and also the lava are some of the most dangerous things.
But yeah, I was just like, that was another pet peeve. I was like, okay, people were like, we want more Pua, and they're like,
Hmm.
fine, we'll give you Pua,
Yeah.
but not really.
The blobfish that was with the Kakamoras was more funny than Pua.
Oh my god, I forgot about that
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. A great thing. Well, I'll give this a great thing for the plot. The Kakamoras, they were very well done again, I believe. Um, I felt sort of bad that a little island of them. I hope none of them got eaten by the clam, like one of their ships. I'm like, oh god, the coconut people. But no, they had like so they were from another island next to like this island that connected everyone, and so they've been trying to get back there. And we get to see the original crew, and there's this captain, but then there's also this like little almost like assassin. She gave me assassin vibes. Was this like little Kakamora that did not trust Moana. She was like when giving her like the poison blade to like stab the clam, she would not let go. She's like, "You're gonna mess this up. You guys can't do it. Let me go." And then she eventually goes, saves the day, and then to save the rest of the Kakamoras, she cuts the line and they fall into the clam's mouth. And then we see the captain of the Kakamoras, who presumably is her father, just be like very sad. And it's like, oh. And I think that was like one of the greatest points in the movie.
Hmm.
Like the coconut people. And then they're blobfish. So it sneezes out a toxin, but if it goes over you, it removes that toxin and it has the screaming goat sound.
Hmm. Which they used the screaming goat sound twice. They used it for that, and then what was the other thing? The bats? No, they or no, Hey Hey had the same noise,
Uh huh.
which
Yeah.
sound design lazy.
Uh-huh. No, the bats also very well done. They were very like, "Hey there," like they were like, "Oh hi," like we're gonna mess with you. Like they were just little tricksters. They were like, oh, they were interesting and cute. So like they were a bit like you sort of got disturbed by the wide eyes, like looking at you, but they were fine. They were good. Good fun.
Yeah, I remember the other thing that I was gonna say about plot is that the suspension of disbelief in this movie was very stretched. It
Hmm?
was very like just everything that was just like, oh, we need this to happen. Ta-da! It happened. like,
Uh huh.
like especially with like the girl doing the boat, like just instantly every single time. Like, okay, once or twice is fine, but like she did it like 5 times, and like especially like during the boss fight, how she completely changed the whole structure of the boat and like restitched a whole like parachute thing. And like my there is suspension of disbelief, and then there is breaking the fourth wall, and
Hmm.
that went over the line for me.
Yeah. It sort of felt like almost in this movie I was like on watching a Nick Jr. show with my brother where they're like, where's the sensory thing in the clam? There it is. Where's the thing that we need fixed on the boat? There it is. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes, very
Mhm.
much so.
So yeah, overall, still I suggest you go support your local theater, watch it. Give us your own reviews down in the comments. Let us know how you feel about it and stuff like that. Just for us, it wasn't the best.
Did your brother give you any more details about, because
He
we
still
went and
didn't
saw
like
it with
it.
him, and he said I hated it.
Yep. Hmm.
Mm,
Nope.
yeah. Have you watched any other reviews?
I have watched Saber Sparks, which you should go check him out, and he feels sort of the same way.
As us, like,
A little bit more
towards hating?
critical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's all the reviews are saying. That it was an embarrassment, it sunk, but it's still and that Disney doesn't care because Disney's still going to be making the money. People are still going to see this. People are going to see the third, but I feel like this still could have been a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, it probably could have been. Yeah, I need to watch the Super Carlin Bros review of this. I'm very curious what their thoughts were.
Well then, guys, we're done at taking up your time talking about Moana 2. Go see it in theaters if you would like to. Wait until it gets to digital. That's all up to you. But please take care, everyone. Hit that like and subscribe button so that way we can keep on growing. And thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And be ready for our next movie review of
Wicked.
yes, where I know zero except for Wizard of Oz lore about this. And she's seen it. So be ready for that, everyone. But we'll see you later on the Hobby Ever After.